today we have with us writer Albert Lanier. Albert's from Hawaii. He's a writer and a retired journalist. Currently has a YouTube channel where he does a show, live shows on his YouTube channel. And he has two newsletters on Substack where he writes film reviews. And you'll go into more detail about that for us, I'm sure. Also in 2020, Albert wrote a piece on Dr. Umar Johnson, exposing him as a con artist, titled Catch Him If You Can. This month, we're celebrating Albert's 31st year in writing. Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
So tell us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to talk to you two nice people.
Great, thank you. Yeah. So tell us about what you're working on currently and how you're celebrating the past 31 years.
Well, as you mentioned, I have two newsletters on Substack. The first is Final Cut, which is kind of like a film magazine. It deals with different kinds of film content. I hate the word content, but hey, it's the 21st century, so I guess I have to use it to some extent. So I have analytical essays, I have personal essays, I have general essays. There's a film item or two on Final Cut. And I just did an essay yesterday that looked at the 1998 film, The Truman Show.
Oh, okay.
As a conspiracy film.
Right.
So that's available. It's called The Conspiracy One. And so Final Cut can be found at allanier.substack.com. I'll probably repeat that at the end of the show, and the interview. Again, Al Lanier, ALLANIER .substack.com.
Okay.
And there's going to be a link in the description as well for your channel and your podcast and everything.
Right. Yeah. And the other newsletter on Substack that I do, which is also a film newsletter, is Retro Review. Unfortunately, it's really known as Final Substack for some reason. I can't get the Retro Review up there. But Retro Review started out as a section on Final Cut.
Okay.
And this May, I decided to make it a separate newsletter. Mm-hmm. So Retro Review is a newsletter where I review movies from the past. Okay. But it's not really about reviews per se, it's about advocacy. What I'm doing with Retro Review is I'm advocating for movies. I'm advocating for various movies and saying people should check this out, there should be an audience for it, there needs to be attention given. So that's the nice thing about Retro Review is I get to do what I didn't do in the past. I was a film reviewer and film critic from 2002 to 2010. Okay. And I covered film festivals. Actually, I covered film festivals for 15 years in total. And before I was a film critic and reviewer, I was just a journalist covering film festivals in my own town, Honolulu. So I was covering film festivals in my own town. And it was the only time I got to actually cover movies, or really review. When I became a film reviewer, it was the only time I got to review movies. So my experience as a film reviewer, as a film critic, is solely in regards to film festivals. I did go to some other screenings, but it's primarily in regards to film festivals. So that was the time of the year, and those were the events where I could go in and watch movies, a lot of movies, really. Okay. I think my record in viewing movies at film festivals, I went to a small film festival one year. I think my record is about over 80 movies in one film festival.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And how long is a film festival?
Is that a week?
Is that
Sorry, what?
The film festival, how long is that? How many days is that?
It depends on the film festival you go to. Like Seattle, for example, their film festival I think is a month. Okay. And I did attend, not as press, but I attended Seattle Film Festival back in the 90s when I lived there. Okay. And so let's see, that's about a month. The one that I went to in Hawaii, the Hawaii Film Festival, that was, I think, 12 days.
12
It used to
days.
be a week. It was
Wow.
about 12 days.
Wow, that's a
So, the one
lot.
that I saw the 80 films at was a smaller festival. A lot of those were short films,
Okay.
to be honest.
Yeah, but still though, like it's
Yeah,
a lot.
over 80 films.
Yeah.
And the average that I had in regards to watching movies at film festivals was anywhere from 35 to about 50 movies.
Okay. So what got you into film critic, film reviewing?
Well, attending film festivals,
Okay.
covering film festivals as a journalist, as a member of the press. You know, that's what really got me. What happened was that I ended up becoming a contributor to a film website called AintItCoolNews.com, and that's where I was reviewing films. Prior to that, I was writing for a local newspaper and other publications, and I was doing roundups of the film festival and other film festivals. So it actually was a lot easier when I was just attending film festivals as regular press, as a regular journalist.
Okay.
It got a lot busier because I was going to screenings, I was interviewing, filmmakers and actors and celebrities. I was going to parties. It was really busy. I had to do a lot of planning. It was exhausting.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
exhausting to me.
I had to prepare extensively before I went to a film festival.
So what was the best movie you ever reviewed and the worst movie you ever reviewed?
Good question. One of the best that I reviewed in terms of film festivals, I think one of the best movies, I'll just say one of the best movies I saw.
Okay.
I saw a number of good movies, terrific movies. I think one of the best movies I saw at a film festival was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I saw that as an opening night film.
That was a great movie.
It was a good movie,
I
yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. That was a wonderful movie. That's one of those movies that you want. If you're a reviewer, you're a critic, you're just regular press. I think at the time I wasn't a reviewer. I was just regular press, but it's fantastic. Fantastic. The worst, I can tell you the worst I reviewed was an independent film. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, the reason I'm a bit hesitant to say this is a friend of mine wrote the script.
Oh no.
He
Well,
wasn't a friend of mine at the time. We didn't know each other. But yeah, it was a movie called Soap Girl, and I reviewed it on Ain't It Cool News. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'm almost speechless. It was a horrible movie.
Yeah.
okay,
It was one
so
of the worst. It has to be one of the worst movies I ever reviewed. I think in my review I said it was 99 and 44/100ths bad.
Wow.
okay, so did you ever talk to him about it? Now, do you talk to him about it?
We talked. Actually, it's funny. I interviewed him for my my podcast. Now, Final Cut, as you know, is a newsletter, but I also have a podcast called Final Cut.
Yes.
It's a name. It's a promotional podcast that's on Substack and also on Spotify. And for the first season, which was last year, I interviewed the screenwriter of Soap Girl. And quite frankly, what he described as the script he wanted to do, and what, I guess earlier drafted what he wanted to do, would have been 10 times better, 100 times better than this film. The director of the film didn't know what he was doing.
Wow. That's
And
horrible.
Weird. That was it. Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, I don't know much about film. We enjoy watching movies, of course, but
Right.
but I don't, I don't know about the film industry and how films are made necessarily. So
Well-
that's
Ice Cube has a new movie out, and the Rotten Tomato give it like 0 rating.
Right.
That was horrible.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's bad that the director has that much influence to make it that much worse. Yeah.
I saw the movie and it was incompetent.
Yeah.
And I would say that because my background is kind of different compared to a lot of people that I guess talk about movies, or maybe not that different, but I actually learned about movies when I was a kid. So it's kind of strange.
Okay.
When I was younger, like before I learned about filmmaking, and I guess technically I went to film school when I was 12 or 13. Well, 12 and 13. So I went to film school. And when I say film school, I mean, what happened was that one day I was at my local library and they had classes, different classes. And I had taken a couple classes there. And what happened was that they had a class for movies. It was, I think, literally called movie making class. And I thought, that seems interesting, and I signed up for it. It was Mondays, 3 p.m. I was in the 7th grade. So from about September 1982 to about April or May 1983, I go to the libraries on Monday and learn movies and learn filmmaking. I learned storyboarding. I learned the shot list, meaning establishing shots, pans, close-ups, dissolves, etc. I learned a little bit of lighting, a little bit of editing. So I really learned filmmaking when I was a kid. I learned basic filmmaking when I was I guess a new teenager or tween. I guess it was tween to teen. And that's where my interest in movies came from. Before that, I wasn't really interested in movies, other than watching movies. I'm like, well, Raiders of the Lost Ark, yeah, I want to go see that movie. Oh, Star Wars, yeah, I want to go see that movie. Oh, E.T., yeah, I want to go see that movie. That was it. I had no love of movies. I had no interest in movies. You know, I was interested in other things. I was interested in history. I was interested in literature. I wasn't interested in movies. After I took that class, you know, which included, you know, working on other people's, everyone had a project in that class.
Okay.
So my project, I think I had 2 projects. One was a documentary of Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was done. They had like a making of Raiders of the Lost Ark book. So what we did was, you know, put it up and we did tight zooms, and I had someone read the captions. So that was my documentary about Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then I did, oh boy, I did a remake of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. With no budget.
Wow.
So that was, those were my twin. And yeah, and I wound up, well, I haven't thought about this in a long time. I had my own talk show.
Okay.
So I had my own talk show. We would interview people. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I talked about that. It's crazy. But I learned filmmaking when I was 12, 13 years old. And so the class ended at the end of my 7th grade year. What happened was the library was cutting back. Library was cutting back on classes, so they canceled, you know, classes like that. So they gave us a party, and I don't know if I should admit this.
Come
we saw a
on.
bootleg version of E.T.
Oh.
Now this is 1983.
Oh my goodness.
So E.T. was not on video yet.
Right.
And I hadn't seen the movie, but it was horrible tape version. But I had seen the movie, so it didn't matter to me. But it was a fun party. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But the sad thing was that after I got out of the class, see, I had no film equipment. I had no video equipment, nothing. And I learned on video. I didn't learn on film. I wish I had learned on film. But I learned on video. So I didn't have equipment, so I really couldn't become a filmmaker.
Okay.
So I think what happened was I ended up going to film festivals when I was a teenager. I was 15. And that was kind of contributing. You know, if going to that class at the library was my undergraduate film education, going to film festivals was my graduate film education.
Okay.
So there I got to meet filmmakers. I went to my first film festival when I was 15 years old. And I went, subsequently, I missed the following year, then I went to another one. And then I went, when I was in college, I went to film festivals. And then when I graduated, my bachelor's, I ended up becoming a journalist at the age of 24 in 1994. And so that's when I first covered film festivals as a journalist.
Okay.
Which was an odd transition when I think about it. It was a really weird transition. It was like going into another, I mean, it must be like a little like what it must be like if you go to concerts and you watch concerts as opposed to working backstage at a concert.
Yeah.
That's what I assume it would be like. It was kind of an interesting transition. It was two different worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very different. Because I haven't gone to a festival in years.
Do you miss it?
Just for relaxation. It's been work. And I stopped attending festival for work in 2010 was the last one. So
Do you miss it?
I miss watching movies. I
Yeah.
miss that a lot.
Yeah.
I miss the parties. Parties were a lot of fun. I miss talking to filmmakers. It's like the social interaction, and it's a very different kind of experience going to film festivals.
Yeah.
Because you're talking with filmmakers, it's a lot more social. You're not in some hotel room doing a junk. You know, you're not doing the junket. You know, you're there for a premiere, or you're there dealing with, you know, and it's all stiff, robotic.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay, you're the movie star, and you're gonna tell me what I need to hear, and I'm gonna feed you questions so that you can tell me what I need to hear. It was a lot more fun going to film festivals. And you get to know people a little better. You get to know actors a little better, you get to know directors a little better, producers, all kinds of people.
So throughout your journey, have you met the major Hollywood directors, producers, and actors?
I've met some names, I've met some people. Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I met him very briefly.
Yeah.
He was, I think, coming into a restaurant. I was coming out of a restaurant, and I was headed to, like, there was a restaurant near a movie, one of the main movie theaters during the festival. I had come to the Hawaii Film Festival, I forget, in the 90s or something. And I was coming out of this restaurant, he's coming in, and I end up meeting him and said, hi, I'm Lanier, you know, Albert Lanier. And we talked for about maybe a minute, because I'm going to see a movie.
That's funny.
But I really just didn't really spend a lot of time talking to him. I would love to talk to him now, but I was like, nah, I gotta go to a movie. You know, we're very polite to each other and so forth, but he's going into the restaurant, I'm leaving the restaurant. I'm like, I got a movie that I gotta take a look at, because, you know, I'm there
That's your job.
write about movies.
Right, yeah.
And I'm sure he would understand, but it was polite. You know, it was like, hey, how are you? And it was nice, and it lasted about a minute. I met Samuel L. Jackson briefly. I was at a press conference at a hotel, and I met him very briefly. He's an interesting guy. Tremendous work ethic.
Oh my God, he is in every movie. I think that guy made at least like 1,000 movies by now. Seriously.
He has the best work ethic of any actor I've probably met.
Yeah.
He's one of the best. It's tremendous. This is the guy who knows not so much how to succeed in the movie business as an actor, but how to survive. I'm convinced. So I met him. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Harold and Kumar.
Yes.
Yep.
But Cal Ken, I met
Okay.
him. Very bright guy.
Yes.
Very bright guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised that he wound up working at the White House.
Yeah.
I was not. Because he did. I think when Obama came in, because he was supporter of Obama, he wound up working at the White House
Right.
in capacity. He took time away from acting to do that. Let me see who else. If you've seen the movie Kill Bill,
Yes.
Sonny Chiba. I met
Okay.
him.
Very cool.
I met him. Jeez, I'm trying to think. So many people that I've met over the years.
So what are you thinking about that? Let me ask you a question. Out of all Tarantino's movie, who's your favorite? Which one is your favorite?
Fair question. One of my personal favorites is Reservoir Dogs.
Thank you.
If I had to say my absolute favorite, probably Kill Bill. Probably.
It's a good movie,
It's
though.
a good movie,
It's a
but
good movie.
it's a good movie, but
Yeah.
I think
Reservoir Dogs.
was
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I wrote it. My very first essay for Final Cut was about Reservoir Dogs. It was called Dishonor Among Thieves.
Okay.
I saw that. Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite of his?
No, I don't. I don't.
You know what my guilty pleasure of him is?
What?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, okay, most people don't like it,
Right.
But somehow I love that movie. You know what I mean? It's like, I love that movie. It's an old movie. I think it's supposed like 30 years old now. Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in one of your YouTube videos, your lives, you talked about the difference between video or movie reviews that you did and the movie reviews that are done nowadays, like on YouTube or on social media. Do you think that the big difference is because social media is just vastly different than the written word, than journalism itself? And so people who are on social media are trying to get views, they're trying to get big in that manner, so they're not necessarily doing an educated review per se. They're just doing, I like this because of blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
That's a very good way of putting it. So I like that question because it's a very good way of putting it. And I wrote an essay called A Confederacy of Dunces, which is, of course, the title John Kennedy O'Toole's novel. It's
Right.
a great novel, great comic novel. That is what I think of the movie influencers, the so-called YouTube film reviewers, the so-called a number of these so-called online film critics, not the professionals, the clear professionals. I consider them to be a constellation of cowards and a galaxy of goofballs.
Okay.
They are a vast mob and range of cretins and nitwits. I came back to writing about film last year, 2024. I was away from the world of movies insofar as, talking about movies, covering them in any capacity. What I realized was that the old world that I know, I can call an old world now, is gone.
Yeah.
The world that I still was semi-attached to, where people like Pauline Kael, Andrew Sarris, Dwight McDonald, Roger Ebert, Gene Siskel, and various other critics. Because Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert were not only TV critics, they were also journalists
Right.
and writers. They wrote reviews. What you have is, in the past, you had people like Pauline Kael was as much a film fan as she was a film writer. But she was a film writer. She was a film critic, previously freelancing, and I know that as a freelancer myself, as a former freelancer, for magazines and for newspapers. I think in her case, magazines primarily. And of course, eventually ending up at the New Yorker. But she was a writer, and she was a good writer. Unfortunately, what I see are people that are not even good talkers. What you have, again, to quote the title of my essay, is a confederacy of dunces. Mm-hmm. You have a vast, a vast collection of utterly unqualified people. And I'll name 3 names, because I named them in my essay. You have the critical drinker, or as I like to call him, the critical stinker. You have Chris Stuckman, and you have Rob Ager. And I'm on record as saying that these people are inherently unqualified.
Okay.
Rob Ager is inherently unqualified. I mean, what Chris and Stuckman and the critical drinker are, they are filmmakers, wannabe filmmakers, but basically filmmakers who are liars. They're pretending to be critics and reviewers, and they're really filmmakers. That's what they want to make movies. Great, make your movie, but don't pretend to be a film reviewer. You don't know what you're talking about. Critical Drinker is a novelist who started ranting and raving about his political, ideological twaddle and nonsense, and thought that would be that would somehow coalesce into reviews. They don't. It's just a bunch of noise. It's utter noise. To quote from a character in the movie version of The Talented Mr. Ripley, it's just infernal noise. And that's the reality. What it is a kind of universe of half-wits and morons that have no knowledge of movies, have no knowledge of filmmaking. Some of them might have knowledge of filmmaking, some of them might know a little something about movies, but most of these people don't know anything. And that's the big difference. I actually knew Roger Ebert, because he used to come to my hometown film festival, and he would give me about 15 minutes for an interview. So I have a lot of good memories of Roger Ebert. And I don't think that this is an environment in which a Roger Ebert or a Gene Siskel could thrive.
Right.
I honestly don't. And it's sad. Roger won a Pulitzer Prize for his film reviews.
Right.
And that tells you how good, and this is a guy who was in a PhD program at the University of Chicago. Like I said, I make no bones about the fact I'm biased toward Roger Ebert. I met him, I talked to him, he's nice to me. So I have a lot of good memories of him. I know there are people who don't like him. As far as I'm concerned, they can go to hell. I hate to say it that way, but I like Roger. And we don't have critics like Roger anymore. We don't have critics like Pauline Kael, Andrew Serres. Another I would cite is James Agee. Mm-hmm. If I had to say influences, Roger Ebert, obviously. James Agee was another influence, who wrote one of the best reviews I ever read, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. I think Pauline Kael in her own way was, but Pauline could be very abrasive.
So,
and I like her work, but things about her. But
so why do you think those 3 people you mentioned earlier are successful in the business?
Oh, you mean Chris Stuckman, the critical drinker, and Rob Baker?
Yes.
They're successful because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like,
Social media, yeah.
right now online,
Right there, successful.
yeah, people don't have
See, I
time.
still write reviews. See, I still write reviews.
Yeah.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
I don't go, I'm not like these, and again, I'm not a film critic anymore. I'm not a film reviewer anymore. So I make that clear. Even though I make these retro film reviews, I'm not an active critic. I'm not an active film reviewer. So I don't have any skin in the game. Even though I'm a film writer, I don't have any skin in the game.
Right.
So I can actively come out and say, these people don't know what they're talking about. They're a complete waste of time and space. They're successful because the algorithm works for them on YouTube. And because heat creates light from the audience.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
The hotter you are, the hotter the audience will be, and that combustibility is created, which leads to clickbait and views and likes and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Because they give you like 5 or 10 minutes and over the top comment and go crazy, and that's how.
Yeah. I mean, I think the audience now wants that quick review, that really fast 30-second review. They don't want to take the time to actually learn about the movie. They just want to know what are the 3 most important things. Give me that in 30 seconds and then move on. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's honestly,
listen, the
our world
attention
has
span is
changed.
gone, man.
Yeah.
The attention span is gone. Yes.
I mean, I used to.
And that's what you get. That's what you get on TikTok.
Yeah.
From what I understand. I've seen 1 or 2 of these things. They're not reviews. They're spew. They're not reviews.
Yeah.
You know. Hey, I like the new Superman movie. It's pretty good. You know, it's a lot of action. And, you should go out and see it. I'm Jim, and that's Jim in the movies. Bye now.
Yes.
That's a movie review
Yes.
on TikTok. On YouTube, it's a little longer.
But it's still short.
It's still, I mean, do I really want to see somebody in their crappy studio apartment talk to me about, you know, the latest movie that's out, Weapons? Do I really want to see somebody review Weapons from their crappy studio apartment? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't, I mean, you know, again, I don't know how this is going to be received, but like, to everyone out there on YouTube and TikTok and other parts of the internet, if you like all these so-called film reviewers and film critics and movie influencers, you like idiots. You're getting your advice and your opinions about movies from uneducated half-wits.
Wow. Okay.
From completely unqualified people.
Yeah.
Rob Ager is a clear example of this. This is a guy who worked in, I think, the care system in England or whatever. Interesting background. But as I note in my essay, Confederacy of Dunces, Rob Ager has no degree. And he's created this site, Collative Learning. Let me just make this very clear. I have a bachelor's degree, but I do not pretend nor ever want to give the impression that I'm a film scholar.
Right.
I just have a bachelor's degree, not a PhD. I don't teach at the University of Toronto. I don't teach at NYU. I don't teach at UCLA. I don't teach at USC, right, where a lot of major film schools are. I don't teach at a lot of these. I don't teach at any university or college.
Right.
I'm not a film scholar. I was a film reviewer, and I'm a film writer. I define myself as a film analyst. Rob Ager is wholly and completely unqualified to discuss movies. Now, anyone can go and do a film channel, and I have no problem with that. They can go and do a film channel and look at movies and analyze movies. But what Rob Ager has done with his channel, Collative Learning, is give people the illusion that he is somehow a scholar, that he is somehow somebody with academic credentials. Not outright credentials, but giving them the hint that he knows what he's talking about in regards to movies.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He has interesting points of view, I'll grant that. And I think his background, I think in the care system, and he's read a lot of psychology, I think that's interesting. But I think maybe he should talk about those things. Now again, I'm not saying that he shouldn't talk about movies per se. What I feel is that he's unqualified as an expert on movies.
Yeah.
Whether it's a faux scholar, a faux reviewer, a faux analyst, he's unqualified.
Yeah.
And I'm not the first person to state this. Others have stated it as well. And so that's my problem with him. Now, with the critical drinker and Chris Stuckman, they're not pretending to be film scholars. They just kind of call themselves film reviewers, and that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but at least they're not pretending to have this grandiloquent, elaborate knowledge and scholarship. Unlike Rob Ager, even if you denied that he does, that's not what he has. The reality is you're giving a false impression that you are somehow some kind of film expert.
Yeah.
You're not a film expert.
Yeah. So
again, I'm sure this will not go over very well.
Right.
Not so much with those guys, but with other people.
Right. So speaking of people who claim to have degrees and not necessarily do, let's talk a little bit about Dr. Umar Johnson.
I beg your pardon?
And your essay that you wrote.
Okay, so do you believe he has 6 degrees?
I love that trope. I'm sorry. I love it.
So do you think that he has 6 degrees? 6 degrees?
I think he has 6 degrees of separation from the truth.
Love it.
I think he has 6 degrees antiperspirant deodorant. Yeah.
Jesus.
He has 6 degrees.
Wow. Okay.
Whether he has 6 degrees or not is irrelevant to me.
Okay.
When I wrote my piece on Umar Johnson, it didn't matter to me whether he had this amount of degrees or not, whether he was well educated or not. I mean, apparently he does have degrees. That was never a problem or issue with me. When I look back on that, I wrote that piece in 2020. I have to be honest, I don't think I've ever talked about Umar in an interview in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
You feel lucky.
Because there's been no reason to talk about it.
Yeah.
I have to be brutally honest. I don't know why I wrote that piece.
Okay.
I mean, I know why. I know basically how it came about. My gut, my instinct was telling me when I found out about this guy that it was a good story. And I know a good story having been a freelance journalist and being a freelance writer. I pitched enough to publications. You have to know what a good story is. And I knew this was a good story.
How did you find out about him?
What was telling me to write this? And that's the reason I did it. There was no reason for me to write it. Umar was not a household name at that point.
Yeah.
That's what people have to understand. Nobody was talking about Umar that I was aware of. Nobody was writing about him, certainly. I don't think anybody, I mean, there were some critics of his. I could cite 2 of them, at least. One was a guy called Keyboard Musician. I don't know where he is now. And another, of course, is Lanier.
Yes.
Lanier, I know this will be controversial among a number of people, but you have to give credit to Lanier. Lanier went after Umar. He continued to try to expose him as much as possible.
Yeah, he's been doing the work.
You gotta hand it to him. He didn't really shy away from calling him out. So you have to kind of give him credit. So that whether people like him or not, you gotta give Lanier credit.
Yeah.
certainly I just wrote one piece. I really wasn't interested in Umar personally. But I knew it was a good story. When I came across this guy, it just, something there went, yeah, I'm gonna write this. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I have to be brutally honest, again, I didn't think anything would come of that piece. And in many respects, nothing did come of it. I mean, a number of people read it, but nobody cared. Nobody really cared, because in that piece, as you had mentioned earlier, I came out and stated point blank, Umar Johnson is a con artist engaged in a long con.
Yeah.
Now, I said that in July 2020, I believe, when that piece came out. And now that it's August of 2025, nothing has changed.
So what do you
Still so, Umar Johnson is a con artist involved in a long con.
why do you
Nothing has
think
changed.
why do you think he's so successful in the black community?
Oh, that's a good question. I think there are better people to answer that question. I don't even know that. I can't answer that question.
Okay.
What I did with my piece was identify what he was. His appeal, I've never understood.
Yeah.
I don't understand his appeal at all. Because I look at that guy and from day one that I found out about him, I look at this guy and I say, this man's a joke.
So how did you find out about him?
YouTube.
Okay. And
That's it. But he is a phenomenon of YouTube.
he is.
He's the gift that keeps on giving on YouTube. And all these Johnny-come-latelys and content creators are finding out now.
Yeah.
He is gangbusters on YouTube.
Yeah.
I bet they're doing very well on their views and clicks and all of that.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Because Umar is the gift that keeps on giving.
He really is.
He's the goose that lays the golden egg.
Yeah.
And whatever other cliche you want to insert.
So now, do you think the school will ever open? I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry.
Is an episode of Unsolved Mystery.
Yes.
That is.
To be continued.
Yes.
Be an episode of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix.
Yes.
The FDMG Academy.
Yeah.
Will it ever open?
But did you hear like he's about to lose it because the city of Wilmington is auctioning his school?
My understanding is that there's a lien.
Yes.
I know very little. I've only, I saw a couple of videos today even about it. If they put a lien on it and they're looking to seize the property for unpaid either taxes or unpaid fees, yeah, the property will probably be seized by either the city, I think by the city, and whatever happened to it will happen to it.
I mean,
My piece didn't concern myself with, I mentioned the school in a small paragraph in my piece,
Right.
but I never cared about the school. The school was irrelevant to me. The school to me is like the MacGuffin, in Hitchcock's film, the term. The MacGuffin, of course, is the object that the characters go after, or the characters want. So, to me, the school is kind of like, rhetorically, is like the MacGuffin
Yeah.
on YouTube
Yeah.
for people in terms of discussing the war.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need an object like that in order to run your con.
of course.
You know what I mean? Like you have to have that goal to run a long con like that.
But in his piece, he was saying Umar's doing the long con.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Well, when I wrote that article in 2020, you have to understand, he was a con artist, irregardless of whether he was going to open a school or try to get a school open or not. That was my assessment. It had nothing to do with the school. It had to do with him. Because in my piece, what I note about Umar is that Umar is not only a con artist, he's a performer. And essentially what Umar has done is extract bits and pieces from other African-American intellectuals and others. Very clearly, he stole from a guy called Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu, who I believe was a psychologist. His videos will still be out there on YouTube. If you watch his videos, the early videos that Umar did, Juwanza Kunjufu, I hope I got his name correct, he would have like a pad and it would be almost like it would be a group of people that he would go and talk about, write various things down, whatever he discussed, whether it's black students or other aspects. So Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu clearly was the avatar for Umar. He was the avatar for Umar, right? I'll just use that. He was basically I'd say the avatar. I believe Umar also basically extracted aspects from Dr. Amos N. Wilson, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Khalid Muhammad, and a guy called Brother Steve Copeland. I think in many respects, the two biggest influences, and Umar will never admit this because he doesn't want to admit anything, the two biggest influences are, I believe, Brother Steve Coakley and Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu. Those are the two people I believe that he's really taken the most from. That's what I believe.
So why do you think he will never admit it?
Because he's afraid of that.
And he should be.
Yeah.
And he should be. I mean, he's taken so much money from people who,
Well,
yeah.
right. Well, you know that Umar is extremely egocentric.
Yes.
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 I mean, this is a guy who is supposedly, well, he is a psychologist, but he goes around calling himself by grandiloquent, self-created titles. I'm no expert on therapists or psychologists or psychiatrists, but the few that I've seen on TV or interviewed or whatever do not carry themselves that way professionally.
No.
They do not.
So, Umar is now the most requested beggar.
For my loyal supporters, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal.
That's true.
He is the prince of flim flam. Yeah.
Yes.
So when it comes to what's happening now with Umar, it used to be that the con was on. And if they take away the FDNG property, the con will be gone.
Yes.
That's what's facing Umar right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the jig is up with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they froze his bank accounts tells me that, I mean, legally speaking, he's definitely being investigated.
Yes.
I mean, that's just my opinion, of course, but that's usually the first step is that they freeze your accounts.
And the next step is
yeah.
you cannot travel.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Because,
Well,
go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead.
No, go on.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now, he says that his bank accounts are frozen. But are they really frozen?
That's true.
Is he saying that, I believe, even if they are frozen, he does this as a prelude. See, it's very clear, like I mentioned the people that Umar extracted aspects in terms of their persona. I think that Umar is a person that studies. He learns. He adapts to a certain extent. And because he has an education in psychology, he therefore is going to do certain things in order to manipulate people. And one way he'll manipulate people is by priming them for certain reality. So he knew, for example, that not only the city of Wilmington, but other officials had contacted him about the FDNG property. He knew. He could not have been ignorant. He had to have known. But he then, when that's going to come out, what he does is he comes in his car and says, my bank accounts are frozen. I can't do anything financially. I need donations. That puts him in a vulnerable position so that when people find out about the FDNG lien and possible foreclosure, seizure by the city, they will be on his side, psychologically, emotionally, mentally. They will sympathize with him. Oh, he's being targeted by the city. He's being of Wilmington. He's being targeted by the state of Delaware. It's all these enemies he has, all these haters, all these people that are trying to destroy someone who is trying to help him.
I mean, I get what you say.
Umar has only helped himself.
I get what you say, but I don't think it's going to happen like that, because people have been giving him money for almost 20 years. And at this point, we're tired, man. No, listen, you've been taking money for almost 20 years. We have to see some result. If there's no result, how are we supposed to keep giving you money?
Yeah.
At this point, if you give Umar money, you're a fool.
Right. I mean, well, but there's lots of fools out there.
In this economy, they're broke. How are you gonna give? Umar's taking money from poor people.
That is
like
true.
He's seriously.
Yeah.
People who give Umar money
Don't have
has
to
no
give.
business giving people any money.
Yeah.
Well, the old expression is there's a sucker born every minute and two to take him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And apparently, Umar is one of those two.
Yeah.
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 Very true. Very true.
Well, and like I said before, Umar is a con artist. It doesn't matter whether he has a school or not, or whether he's going to open a school, or whether he won't open a school. He will continue to con.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You're very right. Yes.
That's the point. That's what everyone has to understand who's watching this, and who's watching all these YouTube channels and all these YouTube panels and all of these discussions of Umar. You have to understand that Umar is a classic con artist.
Right.
He's a long con. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
When was the school announced? I believe with FDMG, it was announced, I believe, in 2010.
Yeah.
It's 2025.
Right. Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
He's been collecting money, man.
Yeah.
And now you have the nerve to say you broke?
Right.
Again, here's the difference. I wrote a piece, and I didn't, I wrote my piece, I thought nobody will care about it. I honestly didn't think, and I was right. A number of people have read it since, but nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
Because at the time, nobody knew Umar.
Right.
No one knew him. When I was writing about Umar in that one piece, nowhere else, but in that one piece, no one knew him. Umar was a non-entity, a nothing, a nobody.
Right.
Now, he's a somebody. Everyone in various spaces and places on YouTube is talking about Umar.
Yeah.
And so, what I said back then is the same that I say today. Umar is a con artist involved in a long con.
Yeah.
And he's also a performer who was taken from other African American intellectuals and professionals.
Yeah.
So he's basically synthetic and pathetic.
Yeah.
But he's a synthesis of all these others because Umar is studied. I'm convinced. He is studied. And, the bottom line with Umar is that he will not stop.
No, he has to be stopped. He won't stop on his own.
No.
And for
somebody-
him to be stopped, it might be jail time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, We'll see.
That's true.
I said a long time ago, I said years ago, I said, I don't know if this is still on, but I'm a bit of a fan of the show American Greed.
Okay.
And I said, Umar would be perfect for an episode of American Greed.
Yeah.
So I said this years ago, and I'll say it now. I don't know if the show's still on the air, but if the producers are on, I got an episode for you, an idea for you. Mark Johnson,
Yeah.
perfect for the show.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do the show, I'm ready to do an interview.
Yes.
Over 5 years.
There you go.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here, man. We appreciate it.
So before we finish, is there anything you want to tell our viewers about what's going on with you? Anything you've got in the works? So.
You know, I have a seminar called As Sold on TV, Media Promotion for Authors.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens with that. I'm looking to kind of maybe do that as kind of a traveling thing.
Okay.
You know, hopefully. I'd love to get out of here and do that. It's a seminar that deals with doing interviews on different media platforms.
Okay.
Whether it's YouTube, whether it's TV, whether it's radio, what have you. It really came about because I was in a writer's group and some guy got frustrated. Now, I've never written a book. I've been a writer for 31 years. I've written magazine articles. I've written newspaper articles, but I never written a book. So I have an objective view when it comes to publishing. I've been to book fairs and I've done a lot of research talking to authors and publishers. And so combine that with the 15 years that I've been interviewed on platforms like this, and shows and podcasts, and what knowledge I have of publishing, I created As Sold on TV, which is media promotion for authors.
Okay.
So it's earmarked for authors. It's not just for authors. It's for writers.
Okay.
So we'll see what that. Now I'm looking to maybe get that. I'm looking to do it maybe at comic conventions because I've been to some Comic Cons. I'd love to do that at Comic Cons and not just the writers conference sort of thing. So we'll see where that goes. People are interested, they can contact me.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook and I'm on Twitter. Otherwise, my Substack newsletters, Final Cut. If you want to check that out, go to allanier.substack.com.
Okay.
That's allanier.substack.com. Also, my retro review, film review newsletter, so it's retro review. You can go to thumbsdown.substack.com to check out retro review. That's thumbsdown.substack.com. So allanier.substack.com for Final Cut and thumbsdown.substack.com for retro review.
Okay.
And I also have my podcast, The Write-Off. It's also at thumbsdown.substack.com, but that is a writing podcast.
Okay.
And so actually a 25-minute version of my seminar, As Sold on TV, is episode 3 on The Write-Off.
Okay, cool.
Outside of that, if there's anything else, my official YouTube channel, Writer Albert Lanier at 3434. That's Writer Albert Lanier at 3434. And I do not too much there. I have a show called Looking Into, an older show I did about true crime. But I also do a show, I do a show called Outro, which is a show about being interviewed on shows. So I'm going to be doing an episode of Outro about this show.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Cool.
Writer Albert Lanier. So I know that's a mouthful, that's a lot, but
Yeah.
hey, part and parcel of what I got to do. I got to get out there and promote and market.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what we're doing too.
Yeah, we do the same thing. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I hate marketing and promotion, but
It's
Do what you
necessary.
got to do.
Yeah.
it a long time ago. So I have
Yeah.
no choice. I like doing interviews. This is the easiest for me. Doing interviews like this is fun.
Yeah.
But gotta upload everything on Facebook and
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
being here,
Yeah,
man. We
thanks for
appreciate
being
it.
Good talking to you because it's nice to talk to like a couple
Yeah.
This is rare for me, like to have a couple.
Yeah.
And you know, when you guys were talking about films, I just sat back and, you know, listened, because it was like, oh, it was nice.
Yeah.
So I really had a good time. I
Great.
really enjoyed it.
Yes,
Really,
yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for being here. Yeah.
And I also encourage people to watch this channel. And the past interviews, you had that lady on who was a friend of Umar's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't say ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't want that,
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ex-friend of Umar's. And so that was a good interview.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
wish that lady well.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I'm nearly speech. I don't know what to say about his personal and private life. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't either.
Private life.
Yeah.
Let me just put that on the record.
Yeah.
When I wrote my review, when I wrote my piece, I knew nothing about his life.
Yeah.
I only knew what I saw.
Right.
And his life is, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's something else.
He is something else. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Thank you.